that almost everyone else disagrees with. The Simpsons episode, Homer's Enemy. If you've seen this episode, basically Frank Grimes is a new employee who comes to work at the Springfield nuclear power plant. Unlike the workers at the plant, and almost every character in the show, he's depicted as hardworking, professional, competent, and serious. He has a degree in nuclear physics and is, essentially, the opposite of Homer. This basically sums up the two of them perfectly. Almost immediately, Frank becomes annoyed with Homer's sloppiness, laziness, incompetence, and basically the lack of care about his job. What ends up annoying him the most is that this behavior is tolerated at the plant by everyone including Mr. Burns. Carl and Lenny tell Grimes that despite Homer's faults, he's really a good person. It gets worse when Frank comes to Homer's house and can't believe how big and nice it is, and that he has a loving family, including a genius daughter and a son who owns a factory, which is hilariously misinterpreted, seeing as Bart bought a nearly condemned former factory for $1. Homer has also been to space, won a Grammy, and Frank can't believe someone like Homer has all this when Frank has worked so hard and has little to show for it. He states he lives in a one-room apartment between two bowling alleys. After this, Frank declares he hates Homer, that Homer is everything wrong with America and doesn't deserve anything he has, and spends the rest of the episode trying to ruin Homer out of spite. This episode was exploring the possibility of a regular person from the real world, Frank, having to work alongside Homer and the frustration they would feel seeing Homer succeed in life while someone like Frank suffers. If you look at the YouTube comments section from the clips of this show, most people side with Frank, and say how tragic it is that someone hardworking like Frank can't get anywhere in life while Homer puts in no effort and has so much. Some people even think that this episode is meant to mirror real life. I myself though, see Frank as just a bitter asshole. Frank judged Homer on the surface without knowing him at all. Homer is older than Frank and has had a lot of life experience, much of it unpleasant. Homer has experienced bankruptcy and having his house and even Marge's ring repossessed. He knows what it's like to be at your lowest point and feel like a loser. Homer is not a very bright person, and this is something he knows. He's often inconsiderate of others, due to his unintelligence rather than malice, and has many character faults. But, despite all this, he loves his family and would do anything for them. In fact, he cares about his family more than he cares for just about anything else. Homer hates his job at the power plant. Mr. Burns treats him and everyone else there like shit. Homer even quit at one point so he could work at his dream job at a bowling alley. Funnily enough, Homer states he would live where Frank Grimes lived if he could. But he couldn't make enough money at a bowling alley to support his family, even though he tried. When Marge got pregnant with Maggie, he had to quit his dream job, go back to Mr. Burns, an asshole who sees Homer as less than dirt, and literally beg him to give him back his job. Mr. Burns gives Homer a plaque to further make him miserable in his job, to which Homer tries to make the most of. But he doesn't. Frank Grimes has a martyr complex, and is highly narcissistic. He hurts himself to feel superior to others. To Frank, Homer's family are nothing more than acquisitions to reflect his success. Frank would have a family and want them to be perfect just to show how great he is. But to Homer, his family is his reason to live. Truth be told, his family is largely dysfunctional, but they're everything to him. If Frank actually took the time to know Homer, rather than see Homer as an embodiment of everything he hates and looks down upon, perhaps he wouldn't be so miserable and he would see that Homer is a loving family man, who gave up his dreams for the people he loves, whereas Frank only ever cared about himself.